I started building it myself, and then I was like, I realized that it's going to turn out to be really cool because I started making it just so I can make tutorials about it and teach people how to make a social network because I got a lot of requests for it. But eventually, I'm like, this thing is freaking awesome. So I hired developers, and we bought a sweet cloud server, and we've been working on it for, let's see, almost 4 months now.
4 months?
Yes, it's going to be,
God.
it's not just a social network. It is, first of all, you can add, the coolest thing about it is we integrated this trading platform where people can trade items with each other. And I wanted to build this website for so long, but I couldn't. I don't have like that much intelligence because whenever you work with a really good programmer, and I'll tell you this if you ever hire a programmer for anything, Joby.
Busy, but go on.
You would think that, like, whenever I look at professional sports and stuff, I see someone who's good, and then I see someone who's, like, elite at what they do, and I'm like, all right, this person rushes like a running back for 4 yards a carry, or this person does it for over 5. Okay, this person can run the 40, and this time, this person can run it a second faster. Okay, that's like a marginal difference. Like, between good and elite on that level.
I'll take bottom of the barrel.
And that's what I thought. I'm like, a good programmer and an elite programmer aren't really, that much better. Maybe he can do something a little bit better. With programming, it's a whole different world. An elite programmer is like worth 10 different. The way that they think and, I can't even explain it.
I don't even understand it, but yeah, I'm listening.
On certain professions between good and elite, there's so slim of a difference. But when you're talking about programming, these programmers that I hired and I'm working with right now, it blows my mind. And I've been studying programs for so many years. And whenever I look at the programs that they make, I'm like, oh my God, you guys are like, I don't know.
Isn't there like a cutoff for like programming, or is it unlimited of what you can do to it? I thought there was like, once you know, I don't want to say once you know everything about it, you know everything, but apparently there's no cutoff in programming.
Well, there are different languages in, like, you can master one language, but the field of computers is expanding faster than you could ever keep up with. So before, whenever you took web design in high school, it's like, okay, I know everything. I know this book, front to back. And if you ask me anything about HTML, I got it. Well, then they're like, oh, what about CSS and JavaScript and jQuery? That's all part of web design. And you're like, oh, now I got to read that. By the time you're done with that, they're like, what about databases and this and that?
That takes too long. You spend like 3 years just figuring out all the languages. I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And then, aside from just knowing the knowledge in books, like, me and you could have the exact same scores on a programming test. We could get the same grades in college. But then whenever someone gives us a problem to solve, we solve it 2 completely different ways. Mm-hmm. And that's another important skill whenever you're talking about programming. The way that they solve problems is like, you would never even think of it, but it's so simple and it just makes sense. So it's hard to explain, but it's pretty cool. And the social network, I'm super excited about.